Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the messenger, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees, that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine, irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 261st One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be a host today, and we have a couple of co-hosts with Mark and Elias as well. And we are happy to be hosting the members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's workshop. So let's get into that right away here. And allow that to begin. Okay, I think I've got it lined up.
You have all these beautiful hearts on the picture there for Valentine's.
Yes, it was. I'll just put it back up there briefly. It's a special background that popped up actually a couple of months ago, I think it was, from Jedi Simon, and I saved it for this special day and for this workshop.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
Thank you, Jedi, for that background.
Yes, thank you, Rick. So welcome everyone, every soul on planet Earth and beyond, to one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. I am Marie, and I'm a Universal Council member for the Norwegian language. And as an introduction today, I want to talk about humbleness, because I've been thinking a lot about humbleness. And in the, let me see, just a moment. I have from the, no, I didn't find it. I was in a Brazilian teaching about a week ago. Let me see. It's called Plasma Connection. And there was a program called Teaching on Soul, Ethos, and the Universal Council. So I was invited, and there I had an introduction about humbleness, because I found some text from the latest Knowledge Seekers workshop, and it was about humbleness. And I've been thinking a lot about this humbleness. Let me see. To start, I will read just a little bit. Okay. Am I educated enough to know where the fields which I need to feed myself come from, that I can tune into that strength? And the most important part of the game, even if you tune into it, is to become humble enough to receive from it. Not to become arrogant that I've got it. The law of the plasma works everywhere the same. To receive it, you have to become humble. Then you attain the strength of it. When you see a lamb, you don't slaughter it, but you become humbler than the lamb, that it can feed its energies to you, so that you can enjoy the pleasure of the emotion of the lamb. In a way, you become the lamb to the lamb. If man understands this, man has broken the chain of understanding the knowledge of creation. So that is from Knowledge Seekers Workshop 470, about 40 minutes into it. And I've been thinking a lot about this, humbler than the lamb. Can I be humbler than the lamb? And last week I was on a trip from the east of Norway to the west. And to go from that distance, I have to go over the mountains. And it's winter. And when I was half this trip, which normally takes 9 hours, there was a storm in the mountains and the roads were closed. So I was sitting there in the car and I was thinking about humbleness and this being humbler than the lamb. And I was kind of exercising, call it like that. And everyone can do this. That's why I'm telling this experience. So first I was thinking, how can I be humble? So do I need to have someone to be humble to? No, I don't think you need a person or something to be humble towards, to do this. So I was sitting there alone in my car and for hours and hours, and I was trying to have this feeling of humbleness within. And in the beginning, I felt very sad. And then I was thinking, oh, it can't be right because even the creator, or maybe the creator, he is the most humble. Mr. Keshe said that many, many times. He's very, very humble. So, and I don't think the creator is very sad. I don't think so. So I tried again and I found this emotion within me and I tried to keep this emotion. And since I was sitting there up in the snow in the car, after a while I was thinking that I was not hungry at all. And actually I started this when I was driving up to the mountains and I was passing many service stations that I usually stop and buy some food because what if it's closed and the road is closed, or if you have to wait for a long time, I need food. But this time I actually had no cravings for food at all. And when I was sitting up in the mountains in the car and waiting for the road to open, at one point I was outside and it was very strong winds and it was snowing. Wasn't extremely cold to be Norway, but anyway, it was winter. But I felt so comfortable outdoors in the snow. I felt like I was protected in a way. And so end of that story is that I talked to someone and I had to turn. So I could either sleep in the car and not knowing that the road would open next day, or so I decided to go back where I came from and try another day. So I was driving back. I was not hungry. I hadn't had any food since breakfast, and this was pretty late at night. And I felt I didn't have any cravings. I didn't want anything to drink. I didn't want anything to eat. It was a strange feeling, actually, because normally I'm kind of eating just of boredom, but I didn't have that craving either to just eat something. And when I come back to my parents' house, because that's where I started from, at 11 o'clock, went to bed, and I woke up at 3 in the morning, full of energy. So what is this telling me? I think this emotion that I created, or that I found within me, this humble emotion that I kept for many, many hours within me, made me not crave anything and not be thirsty, not wanting anything to eat. And even I wasn't cold either. And obviously gave me a lot of energy, because when I woke up at 3 in the morning, which is very unusual to be me, I wasn't tired at all. I was totally awake. So I think this might be a way to tap into these energies that Mr. Keshe is talking about, the cosmic rays that are everywhere, but how we can kind of start playing with these our own emotions and these fields, so we can receive, because we need to be humble, because we need to be kind of the weaker, so that these fields can feed us in a way. So that was my little experience with the humbleness, the emotion of humbleness. So I want everyone to try this. And I actually heard others do the same, very similar thing, and had very similar experience from it. So maybe that's the key, to be humble. And if you remember, Mr. Keshe has said that many, many times, that humbleness is key. So, and everything we learned in planet Earth, in our daily busy lives, is kind of the opposite. You're going to be good and strong and the fastest and the cleverest and everything, most beautiful, always be the best, you know, like, but in a way it's the opposite. You have to be very humble. And I've also been thinking about, I'm not very religious, but I was thinking about, if you see like religious pictures of, for instance, Jesus, when he kneels, isn't that a humble thing? It's humbleness in a way. So maybe he knew that to receive and to be in contact with everything around you, you need to be humble. So that is my lecture on humbleness today. So again, welcome to this One Nation, One Planet, One Race, and I think it will be interesting today. We have a lot of things coming up, so maybe we go to the next slide, Rick. Okay, I need to have it on my computer here so I can read it. Yes, I kept this from Mr. Keshe from the 467th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, where he explains for us the importance of the wish of the Universal Council. And I thought it was very beautiful, so I wanted it to be here. So I will read it. The wish of the Universal Council. In the cycle of man on this planet, there is nothing higher than the wish of the soul, unanimous soul of the Universal Council. If the soul of the Universal Council in unity wishes, it becomes a command for the soul of humanity and beyond. And sooner or later, the mankind comes to understand. So it shows the importance of the Universal Council wishes. And that is our mandate in the Universal Council, to kind of guide humanity through the wishes. So that is very beautiful. Thank you. Maybe we go to the next slide. We have one wish in the Universal Council today. We, the Universal Council, gives from our soul to all souls in need, for the elevation of all souls and world peace on planet Earth. And I want to say something about this wish, because we discussed in a meeting this week that there is a lot of harsh things going on in the world. There is a lot of natural disasters, and we have this escalating conflict in Ukraine, and many other negative things in a way that is happening in physicality. But I think it's important for us to share or give from our soul to everyone that's in need, that has this need for energy. So we all knowledge seekers, and everyone, have this sun in our head, and we are like beacons, and we have to radiate out this energy from our soul to help all other souls in need. And by that, we will receive the world peace on this planet. And when we receive the world peace, we will be ready for our brothers and sisters in the universe, because we need to be peaceful. Humanity needs to be peaceful to have these doors to the universe open in a way. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. You can go to the next slide. Thank you, Rick. I wonder if Stefania is there.
I saw her just leave, and let's see if she's come back. Yes, she's just back. Stefania?
Hello, hi, good evening. Yes, my line just went off. I just come back now. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is thank you, Mary, for the presentation before. And definitely, I think be humble. Definitely from to me, it's also be able not to judge. It's very hard not to judge. It's very, very hard. But you know, if you caught yourself judging someone, you're already in the wrong track. So you have to kind of. It's very hard. Sometimes to me, it happened automatically. But you should not judge others. So I think that's also what helps by putting in practice the fact you have to be humble. You know, because because the moment you judge, you're not. You think you are. you're in position to judge. So I think this way of being they look simple, but I think they need a lot of practice because as I said, you know, I found myself very impossible not to judge nothing ever. Sometimes certain things you just judge them, so it's very hard to coach yourself. It's also hard to coach yourself judging or cheating.
You know, Stefania, I just want. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to add something to my humble story.
Yeah.
And because I remembered something that is kind of important. When I had this feeling of humbleness within me, I was trying to kind of feel it in a way, and I felt that I needed to let go everything, just be, you know, just be, and let whatever happened happen. And I also had something that I remembered from Dor, our Universal Council member that departed some months ago, and he said it very beautiful. So I was trying to find it here. If I just see it. I think it's working. Just a second. I can't find it now. But he said something about that you let go of everything, and that what happens is of no self-importance. That since we are part of the totality, that whatever happens, it's kind of you are not restricting what's happening. You are not you're letting things happen, because then it will happen the right way. Because I think that we are so busy and are planning so much and have so much expectations on everything that happens. So we kind of, it needs to be like a natural flow in a way. Yeah. Okay.
Plus, I think it's very difficult to let go, because everyone grabbing. We all grab to the image we have of ourselves. We grab to the people around us. Some people, we don't let them go. We grab to some things we have, can be house, can be, so we tend to consider important things that are never going to be ours, and they always will be passing through. So we grab in. So that letting go, no? When you say that we have to let go, that is the principle. But the letting go comes with no grabbing. So there is a lot of stuff that we do that we don't realize we're doing. It means that we don't let go. So for example, if it happened to you, something really, really personal from someone very, very close to you, you are attached to this person or to these things, then will be harder for you to let go, so there are a lot of degrees of of practice. So you keep peace in the middle of the war or in the middle of the fight. That is the challenge, because everyone is good to maybe meditate when in front of the sea with a beautiful scenery, perfect world, with a perfect music. But the challenge is to be able to be in peace in the middle of a war. When everything's around you is upside down.
Yes, I found this part from Door. I want to read this part, a very short one, because it's kind of, he's not talking about humbleness, but detachment, but because I felt it was kind of a detachment too. And Dora is saying here, for me, the meaning is that you are not holding for precondition or a result. You give and see the result, what changed, what happened without self-importance. And I thought that was spot on, to be honest. Okay.
That requires guts, because for example, it means also you're willing to give your life, not your life. I don't know if actually is going to the success, but definitely you're ready to let go everything. So it's a very, very require a lot of I would say passing a lot of level. So it takes a lot of learning to be able to do that. But this I think this is the purpose of those things, to remind us how we can improve ourselves daily. At the end of the day, as I said always, no, last time, the important thing is that we are just a good people. That means that you during the day you're doing good to your neighbors, to your relatives. You know, you don't harm. You just don't want to harm. So if you don't like your neighbor and they do something wrong to you, you know, you don't need to harm them, or you know. So that it takes a lot of practice. Also, just that. Because we tend not to be aware, even like you said, you know, we start off, of course, looking after yourself first. Then after you look after yourself first, only then, because it's a mistake I personally do, and maybe many people here do too, as a knowledge seeker. So you cannot help anyone unless you help yourself first fully. Then once you sort yourself out fully, then only then you can think to help your friends, your neighbor, and then once you know, you have to always gradually, like a ripple effect, got bigger, but only after you accomplish one step at a time. So you cannot, for example, I make a mistake in the past where I was not able to look after myself, and I start to look after others, and a big mess come out, because you cannot help without wisdom. So you cannot just wake up in the morning and say, I want to help. No, because you're going to make a more mess, and it would be better you don't help at all. So there is a lot of things underneath on helping. Even we are here to serve, not to be served. No, there is a lot of unconditional giving there. You know, it's all lifetime of learning this. That's it. So sorry, I went too far. But we can. Sorry, I'm talking too much. So we can take 1 minute silence for the elevation of the soul in existence. And this one, it's very, very powerful, because in what we've got 1 minute where I talk a lot, but in this minute I'm not going to talk, and you're not going to talk. So we were our mouth closed. We have to now demonstrate the feelings of giving unconditional love, these things. No? So how we do that without talking? So we have to really kind of start to feel it. So now we're going to start 1 minute where we're going to not talk and just feel. The moment you think you're out. We can focus on the elevation of all the soul in existence. So this is something we can focus all together. So we can start from now. So 1, 2, 3, now. 1 minute. Okay, I think the minute is finished. Okay, so we can go to the next slide.
Yes. I take over here, Stefanie.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. This is a picture that I took on my trip over the mountains in Norway. I wanted to show it. This is actually a natural phenomena called polar stratospheric cloud. And because I asked one person that I'm working together with, who is a native Englishman, and I asked him, what do you call this cloud in English? And in a way, he didn't have it wasn't a known thing to him, this clouds, but because it's a polar thing. And in Norway, we are closer to the pole, North Pole. So I've seen it before, but I thought it was so beautiful, this one. Looks like an eye. And I was actually filming to show some knowledge seekers how beautiful my country is up in the mountains in the winter. And I saw this, and I was thinking that it's like if I ever see a plasmatic spaceship, it should look like this. It's like a rainbow cloud. And as a Universal Council member, we are kind of a contact point for the universal community. And I was thinking it might be the universal community trying to show themselves, or if they just want to watch me through this beautiful eye. But it could also only be a cloud. But anyway, I wanted to say this, that I'm looking forward to kind of interact with the universal community, and that we as humans becomes part of their community when we have learned to be peaceful and humble. So, but we are getting closer, and I think it's not that very far ahead. Yes, so, okay, we can go to the next slide, Rick. Someone have their microphone open.
Got one.
Are you there?
Hello,
Jack?
Stefania, did you call my name?
Your microphone was open, Gatua. That's why she screamed out. It's okay.
Okay.
I muted you, and it's all under control.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is Jacko available?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh.
Hello, everyone, dear souls in, on, and beyond the earth. This is Jacko, the UC Dutch. I have the honor to be in Holland at the moment. The reason why I'm here is not so nice. My mother is sick, and we're trying to help her as good as possible. But for me, it is wonderful to be in the nature here, to be with the people, to speak my own language again. And normally in Switzerland, it is very seldom that it is possible. But it is very nice to travel and to spread from your soul. And meanwhile, I try to do it wherever I can, even if it's driving the car. If you're driving the highway, I had to drive for about 9 hours on Saturday. And it is interesting to see, if you do that, that the people around you somehow get harmonized. Normally it's very hectic, and some are driving to cut off the others. You see so many things when you're driving the car. And as soon as you start spreading from your soul, I notice that it becomes different. it is hard to explain because every situation is a situation of its own. But if you see more harmony, if you see the people let other ones coming in, and it's like if they become serving. And that is the beauty of what we can do. And later on, we will be in the commandments. If we do our small part that is possible, all these small parts become big parts. And the more it accumulates, the more strength on soul level we become. And with the new devices that Mr. Keshe brought up, I was thinking about it. I ordered one because I want to help others. It's not for me. I don't need it myself. But as soon as we can serve with this and really start to give to the others, what change will this bring? And what beauty on earth is to come with it? And that is really what the essence of all what we are learning, all these education we got in the last years is brought us up to. And we can really be very, very thankful that Mr. Keshe is so patiently with us, that he brings us to this point where we start to understand and we can start to work with it and help with it to change this world to a better position. So we're all working on this one solution. One solution for the planet is to bring peace. And this peace, this time, it will not stop on the boundaries of Earth. It will spread throughout our universe and our unicos, because everything has to change this time. And it's wonderful to be here to serve. So Rick, we can go to the next slide.
Yes, we were thinking of playing something from yesterday's workshop, but I don't know if we have any timestamps. Do we have that, Mark?
Yes, we do. It's been delivered by Mark here, at least one. Let me get that lined up. We have from 3 minutes 31 seconds to 12 minutes 51 seconds.
Okay.
I'm not sure if all the
as you decide, Rick.
Not sure if all the minutes and seconds line up exactly here, but let's see if this is
Basically the opening of the blueprint day.
Thank you, Mark.
96. Yes, thanks, Mark. Okay, let me think here. I gotta get shared properly. Okay, I think we're ready to go. I've got it at 3:26, close I can get, and it's like Mr. Keshe is getting ready to talk. And okay, so again, this is out of what was initially called the Plasma Blueprint Day, and it was renamed the 472nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. So this actually, in spite of coming out on a Monday, is considered to be a Knowledge Seekers Workshop now. Okay, again, this is the excerpt out of 3 minutes and about 3.5 minutes into it. Through. Okay, we see you there, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, good morning to you. Good morning, good day to you as usual, wherever and whenever you are with us through the Knowledge Seeking Keshe Foundation programs of the KF SSI. We welcome you back to a pleasant day in
introducing new technologies as we usually do in our blueprint days. Today, the blueprint is a very simple understanding of the change. The development of the technology has been to create a condition for a space where we do not need to depend on Earth for many things, where we do not need to depend for food, for energy, for transportation, for transmutation. And this blueprint day is part of that development we have done traditionally for past years. The very first blueprint was about magnets and in energy reduction, energy production. We have developed the technology in a way now in a very rapid development technology in achieving to produce gases and then gases, and then through the production of the gases with the production of the new plasma cosmic rays, which has brought us to a new dimension, which means we will produce energy and everything else which we consider food as energy, we consider medicine as energy, we consider heating as energy, we consider transportation as energy, whenever we explain energy to be magnetic fields in motion. In that respect, we have reached a milestone in the production of the fields, magnetic fields, which we can use for communication, rather than what we are used to in a form of magnetic field as mobile phones, radio communication, television communication, where we always need an electric power behind it, and we need the line of communication of vision. If you have followed us for years, now you know we have moved into the step, into the environment where we create plasma energy. This has been the dream of many scientists. This has been the dream of many works like in CERN, many works like many scientific centers around the world. In a way to be able to communicate, in a way to be able to have a zero-time communication, in a way to be able to deliver food and energy, zero-time communication as you need. But in the process of a need today, we have to ask for, I want an orange, I want a bread, where our body converts these matter states into energy state that it gets absorbed by our body. As I always say, when you eat a banana, banana doesn't go to your heart or to your leg. The energy conversion of it, according to its balance, converts in the energy which the body needs. Now, understanding the plasma technology, we have created a condition that we don't need to eat the banana. We have access now to a plasma technology which creates all the energies which the body needs. So you receive the energy from the environment we create as you need. They say if you read, banana gives you calcium, phosphorus, whatever, which means when it broke down into energy, be absorbed as that in your body to be used. Now with the plasma technology, we create that energy. You don't need to eat a banana. You don't need to kill an animal to reach that point. But it comes to one point. How does body know what it needs and where it needs? And what controls this? It actually comes to one point. Our brain, the center of the operation, decides what is needed to be stored, what is needed to be called upon, what is needed to be converted, in what position and one place. So the world of the science has moved forward in a huge progress. We don't need to take an object or entity or anything like an orange or a banana to eat it, to get its energy at the level the brain says it needs, and reject the balance. Now, with a new development of the technology of the plasma, in being able to have access to the spectrum of all the energy fields, we can feed that energy directly to the brain. And then brain decides what it needs to be absorbed by the body from it. In a way, we ate food to feed the brain to the central control, what we call in the name of the soul of the man, or the central point, which every brain has one, where we said you can't have a solar system without the sun in the center of it. You cannot have a body of the man with a soul, with the central operation of it outside it. So the central operation of the brain of the man is inside the brain, where now we know where it is, now we know how we can access it, and now we can feed it, that it feeds the body, not for the man to kill to get that energy. To that respect, to understanding this, to be able to create that kind of energy, we have moved forward in the science and technology of the plasma. Now we are at a point where we think by thought, I want a banana, I feel like eating a banana. We satisfy that need through absorption of the energies, which gives us that satisfaction, energy, and emotion. This has taken years of research and development, and today we have achieved it. Today we have that system in our hand, where we create a central plasma system. Even the technology we show today here, compared to what we have achieved and what we are achieving in the lab, these are obsolete. But we have to show you where we are going, and maybe in a few months' time, you will see a total independent system. The way we are now achieved, the way we have now developed in our research centers. What does this mean? This means you need a trigger point to start a system. And once you start a system, you can absorb energies from anywhere in the universe for your transportation, for your food, for your wellness, for your communication, for your transportation. So now we have access to a new knowledge, what we call universal plasma system, where the universe works on a plasma basis. We call the sun a plasma. We call an atom a plasma. We call an electron a plasma. But different amount of, with a different strength of, manifest themselves in different environments. And in that direction, and in that purpose, we have moved forward a step towards independence of man in traveling to space. But what we have developed, what we show you today, is not for you not to eat, is not for you to have a reduction in electricity bills, is a space technology which allows man to live in space, allows man to move to the next step in evolution of science and technology. We are not something out of a black box. I'm a nuclear physicist, 40 years of research and development plus, and is in a step-by-step development in that process. As I always said, for centuries, we saw metals, we didn't know what they are. We melted them, we made things out of them. We mixed them, we made them alloys. So then later on, we understood about molecules, mixture of molecules, composite, which creates life like hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. We became knowledgeable in molecular structure. We understood that. As I always say, last century, we became to understand atomic structure, how these individuals make a metal, how many atoms of iron we need to make a sheet of iron, or whatever, how many molecules and cells are in our body, we can count it. We became atomic scientists. In a leaping step, we became nuclear. We found out this atom, what we see, has a center, has other bits running around it. We call them neutron, electron, we call them protons and everything else. And then in early 80s, long before in the early 70s, and in development of the technology as a nuclear physicist, we were inside the neutron. No more these up clocks and down clocks and everything else. We looked at inside the structure of a neutron, inside the structure of an electron. And what we see is nothing but dynamic magnetic fields in interaction with each other.
Okay, I went a little bit over there, but I think it was quite relevant. You'd probably play even more. But I think that seems to be the excerpt.
Well, thank you for that. I don't feel I'm the right one to comment on it because I haven't seen the whole workshop. But anyway, I encourage everyone to go and see the workshop from yesterday. So maybe Jacko wants to say something about it, or if we go to the next slide. It's up to Jacko.
Thank you, Marie. Well, I would say what Mr. Keshe is telling us is this essence of the change that is to come, that all the needs we have will dissolve because the solution is there and gives us what we need. And for me, it is so beautiful, and this what was clear to me for a long time, that this independence that is coming up, that will bring us to the position when we can stop this killing we're doing altogether. So that the change of the route that we are walking really got a solution by this. And this is really, really beautiful. I don't know, maybe someone else has something to say, Mark or Dean or anyone else.
Well, he's taught the full knowledge to us, except we haven't been able to put it together.
It's us. Yeah.
A few people have, but I was thinking earlier in a previous session about when you first bought a computer years ago, they had a printer and you'd hook up the printer to it and you'd be able to print. Now, in this time, you can buy an all-in-one printer where it scans, it copies, it faxes, it does so many things. Mr. Keshe is putting these systems on the table for the elevation and understanding of more of the process of creation and elevation of our souls. I'm quite pleased and I'm humble enough to accept it. It is rather expensive and out of the reach of many at this point in time, but I think the economies of scale will kick in and we're all part of it. We're just in the development stage of it. But it's so beautiful to see a complete package of feeding, of wellness, of energy transfer, again, being the crumbs, or even if you had a health condition, let's say a cancer, your body is riddled with cancer, and that cancer, by being in this plasmatic environment, disappeared, or it was processed in a way without you doing much, just being in that environment. I mean, it's just a phenomenal development that I don't think we can compare, as he's been indicating to us, with the small savings in energy, or the family that is fighting, arguing, the kids are misbehaving, the husband is taking a second job because he doesn't want to be home and be in that emotional tension environment. And this creates such a balance, as he said in the lab about the the peacefulness and the calmness in the lab, that's what's put into these systems. So when we compare just a few dollars or a few euro in energy savings compared to emotional balancing in your environment, wellness, the ability to transmute, as he said, you want to be in the supermarket, you just think about being in the supermarket, and maybe that'll come in the future a little bit, but it's just we cannot compare apples to oranges. A little energy savings, which we were all looking for, but as he said in numerous times, we missed the boat. Think of the other things this system can provide you beyond the energy, let's say. So it's an all-in-one, and of course it's going to be added on to. This is just the initial, I don't know if he called them primitive tools, but the initial first tools, as he said about the first telephone call that was made. So they're offering these tools, and compared to the time it would take you to put a system together and to mesh it all in and be able to interact with it, I think whatever your hourly rate is, or if you want to compare money to it, it'd be more effective, and you'd have a much a deeper system by ordering a system from the Keshe Foundation. That's the way I'm seeing it now. In time, he said, the knowledge seekers will understand more and will be able to produce water or produce energy if we even need it at that time. But he had indicated one system in Linz is enough for this planet as well as the entire universe. And so I think it's just going to be, again, connected to Linz, and we'll work along with the creator, with the message and the messenger, perfecting all of it to deliver this across the universe and share with our much larger family. But he says he's trying to bring man to a peaceful existence where we don't have to kill. This is one of the shames he sees as being in the body of the man, that we have to eat other people, vertical or horizontal. And this is what it'll come down to. And this is the initial steps of introducing this technology to mankind. How they will accept it, how it will be delivered is up to us. So we're in a beautiful period of transition, I think, of what can be and what we're going to be delivering. So
exactly.
But I'd
Thank
like
you very much.
I would like to add as well something, but I don't know if you can hear me properly.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, Mark, it's perfectly right. I think yesterday it was, Mr. Keshe said that what has been present was like a breakthrough for humanity, and this box that he presented yesterday. It's like Jaco said, that there is there are a lot of function that we have to learn how to use, how to get the most out of this box. Or like Mr. Keshe said, that we have to learn how to play with the true present and not with the box of the present. But yes, I felt yesterday that it opened really a new way of thinking, and I like the fact that he said this is coming, so we're going towards that way. We don't know exactly when all these changes will come in a big way in the future, but they come, and we cannot stop those. He also talked, I don't know if you remember when this person talked about but our body, because we're made of plasma, we have this device inside us. So, and he talked like we can create a wall with our thoughts, and he was asking Mr. Keshe if it's possible, and then Mr. Keshe said we cannot just creating a wall with our thoughts, but we'll be able also to create the color And same day, the son of my boyfriend, he showed me a video this morning of Joe Rogan where they were showing Asian architecture, and they were saying that the building they were doing in the past, they were so impossible to just do it by hand, and the size impossible, the cuts perfectly clean cuts, that they were saying that they thought that in ancient time we were able to build with our thoughts. And I thought, oh, this is coincident, exactly, you know, what Mr. Keshe said yesterday. So, and he also said, we talked about, do you remember, we talked about these people who can do operation by putting their hands into the body of a person. And in Italian group, there is, you know, we had a testimonial on that of someone, a direct experience of that. And so it's possible. And Mr. Keshe, you know, there is no need that Mr. Keshe says it's possible, but you can see that the knowledge that we learn about the plasma is also knowledge that of the Haitian times has been done in the past by Asian civilization. Even though Mr. Keshe also said that we connected to the source of the creation, and some of this knowledge that he's sharing with us today has never been presented in Earth before. So there is also that side that he said that we have to acknowledge. Anyway, so I thought yesterday is really breakthrough. I think it will take us a long time to digest what is about to come, but definitely it's going to be there is a different way of living that can be had to our present living. Okay, I finish. I think I talked too much. I just want to say yesterday was very, you know, breakthrough. Yeah, it just introduced a new way of it's not a new way, it's a old way, but a different way from what we doing today.
Exactly, and I think it's also very important what Mark says, that those who can should support all these experiences to use these systems, to connect these systems, that we can use them to the maximum. So I really want to encourage everyone who has the possibilities to do and to test with it. The more experience we can build up, the more we can use it to help others. And I was a few hours ago, I was sitting with my sister, and she says, yeah, now everything will change. And I told her, yeah, it will change, but we are the ones who have to do the steps, because we have to change our position, our soul position, to open up for this new technology. And then we can start use it, and then we can also share it like we did yesterday evening, beautiful sharings from the knowledge seekers. That's the way, that then we reach our goal. That's a beautiful thing. So thank you very much, Stefania. Thank you, Mark.
Jacko, it's Dean here.
Hi, Dean.
Hi, Jacko. How are you?
Fine, fine. You too?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. So if I may say a few words.
Sure.
So it was mentioned earlier about being humble, about letting everything go. And so trying to do that position where you really let everything go, everything, all the interactions, even the speech. So what is letting go? Is letting go of the whole of totality of the physicality? Is it part of it? Is that becoming humble? Does that give you the position to sense and be able to experience this portal, this next position. The technology we have in front of us that Mr. Keshe gave on this, on the blueprint day that's been renamed as a Knowledge Seekers Day. Mr. Keshe has been doing this for quite some time, and we know this is part of a much bigger picture. So being humble and letting everything go. I was very quiet earlier on in the background. And this to me sort of represents humanity and many of the governments and world leaders that we have that know about this technology, and it is just kept in the background. They just let it go. And we have in the palm of Mr. Keshe's hands right now, universal fields of interaction from the Creator present in this very moment. And we spoke about this last night. In German, they call it Geschenke. It's like giving. It's a gift to humanity, to join and be present with a much bigger totality, to bring peace to the understanding of ourselves and to the whole of the planet, to ultimately become a peaceful planet, to stop all this positions of killing, or creating, lots of different other positions that are not really beneficial to us as a race, as a species, as human beings present. And then when we start to connect, as Mr. Keshe has been giving all this technology freely and unconditionally to humanity to receive. And when one or two keep it back from the many, then it's a position of taking. And this technology is all about giving. Geschenke, a giving. It's a gift. And so when we start to open up and give, then the field strength changes. Then the emotion changes. And then everything around us releases and lets go. And then we can start to envisage other interactions that are beneficial to us in all the aspects of all of our lives, both in a physical format, in the physical body, and then touching the emotion that touches the whole essence of creation and everything around us. So are we responsible for the wars? All of us collectively as one, we all have our own thoughts and intentions, and they all go into this field, magnetical field that is present around the whole of the planet. And ultimately this doesn't just stop at the boundary of the planet. It keeps going on and on and on and on. And it's like the planet within inside ourselves, the suns of our every part of us. If we keep this war going with a thought, this amplifies out and then turns into other situations within our own structures. So from an atom to a universe, it's all the same thing. It's the same process. So when we let go and we become peaceful and we really let go of all of it, of all these positions that have come about through many generational and many things that have happened for over a very long period of time that have created lots of conditions. But the first seed, if the first seed is not set to grow in a beautiful position, then all the other interactions from that seed are slightly offset and not quite in parallel with being the full beauty of the totality of creation. So as humanity, let's just join, let's become this beauty that gives to everybody. But start the seed from this moment that Mr. Keshe has brought forward, and the universal community are present to establish this and give to humanity. Let's be present to receive this Geschenke, this gift, in this exact moment. And let's On this day, this is the Valentine's Day. This is a beautiful day for love, for giving, for being present with the ones we love. And let's have the love for ourselves and the love for humanity and the love for all the creatures created in these precise moments, because we're all part of it, each and every single one of us. Thank you, Jacko. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Dean. Mary, how's the program? Can we continue?
Rick, there are two hands up. I don't know if this is the point you'd like interaction or.
Of course.
Okay, well, we have Salamia with the hand up, and I can't see the full name. Selena.
Selena.
So, Salamia, would you like to go there? Okay, Selena has her microphone open first. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Our is 11:13 here. So I want to say something about the thing you were talking about. First, I will start with one of my, I told you before, I think so, in here too, and North American Corona teaching too. It was like that. One night, but I feel I didn't sleep whole night. It's like of day, right? Some like a whole night I'm like that kinds of feelings. So early in the morning, I wake up and sit down on my bed. So I first saw my feet. So when I saw it, the feelings was good before too, but when I saw most beautiful feet in the world, and I felt like that it is my first time I'm having feet. 1000 years I didn't have any feet. So it was so beautiful, and everything was so beautiful and so loving. And that kinds of feelings, I'm shaking right now too. I can't explain. Maybe that time, the lorry, two horn, like on the highway, they drove. Kinds of car, if hit me, still I'm beautiful. And everything. Those kinds of feelings, I can't explain. There is no word to explain. When you are talking about the emotional change and everything right now, so I right away I wasn't in the life. I was in YouTube, so right away I find my laptop or something, because those feelings, if you don't have, and maybe we are all getting those kinds of feeling, and we are on the way of that, and that is everything. Whatever Mr. Keshe making those kinds of machine and everything for us, trying to take us in that position and that feeling when everything will be filled and everything will be satisfied. No material, we don't need anything like TV, this and that, luxury, gold, car. No, this will fill our heart and soul, will fill in our body and in our emotion. That is Mr. Keshe trying to understand us, feel us, to change little by little. Everything, and I understand a lot of it happen in our life. We don't see proper, busy with this and that, but everything with us, within us. So we don't see properly, and it happened. Is that I don't find the word happening here with us, and we don't need to find anywhere else. And we are in the way of the peace and everything. So always think maybe something coming from out to help us or see us what is going on. No, so everything within us and everything within inside us, we have to only feel, and nothing will make, we will make ourselves happy inside out. That's it.
Hello, Selina, this is Jacko.
Yeah.
Isn't that the point of creation? Isn't that where we start to understand that we create these emotions, and through the emotions, the environment, and we can choose where we want to be? And I think that is why it's so important that we choose the right way this time and don't go the same wrong way we did the last thousands of years. But if you start to understand this beauty of abundance, of having no restrictions, no problems or difficulties in fighting or whatever, then there comes a freedom that is so beautiful that inside you become calm and humble and only grateful. It's hard to describe different in physical words. But what you're telling and what you're explaining for me is like, that is the point of creation.
Yes. Yes.
And isn't that beautiful?
Yes. Need anything else?
Yes.
We have everything with us.
Yes, I sometimes ask, what do you need if you have everything that you really need? So what do you want more? As you said, a gold or a big car or whatever, it has no meaning anymore.
No, we don't need anything. We have everything.
Yes.
Thank you for understanding.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Mosfek.
Maybe,
yeah, sorry. The part that started today's conversation, Marie started it, the humility part. So if we take humility and what Stefania was talking about the service as well as Dean, and if we connect these two, with humility we serve. And to add to that, we bring Selena's message of, we do it from within ourselves. The devices that we see Mr. Keshe presenting is a way of learning or enhancing or bringing into operation this capacity. So what I'm going to talk about now is an experiment we did during our last workshop in the Bengali speaking community of this kind of application. And obviously, this is a small step. Nevertheless, we have to take these steps to move forward. And this is very practical, very tangible. Anyone can do it, and do it in a way that makes us take the next step forward. We move a little further. And this is based on the Thursday teaching about how we create seeds. So, and how these seeds function as a point of interaction for them with other physicality or other plasmatic manifestation, let's call it that, to create the necessary dynamics to move forward. So, you know, what I'm talking is a bit abstract and philosophical, it may sound, but let's move to the practical side of things. During the last One Nation, One Planet, One Race workshop, we had the discussion of how, with different combination of GANs, the fields that we create can be used for the victims of these earthquake situation, which the news, as from the news as we know, the situation is even worse than we initially anticipated. Now, so before we could initiate this activity that we did during the workshop is to, you know, before I talk about it, I better apply it. So it's essentially what I talked about during the last meeting is that just like the GANs, we can create, we know what field to create from handling the GANs. We know how these feels to us. So that was one step forward. And now, knowing what we know about how this can elevate us emotionally, this can feed us, and so forth. So I tested it with, like, let's try the one that's needed the most, the emotional balance, because we feel uncertain, our survival is in question in a earthquake situation such as the one we are seeing. So can I transfer this energy? So this I did individually first, and to test, just to test, and then the other part of it, which is yes, I just like we wish for things as we do in this meeting, so people are quite familiar with this. Now, once I did that, one of the things, just as I have talked about this earlier, about treating individuals for when it comes to diseases. And so here so the transfer. So in humility, I receive fields from the cosmic rays, and I'm transferring these to this collection of people that are in need. I create a need because they don't they don't know quite at this moment how to do it themselves. So I'm just a channel, nothing more than that. So I create a lower fields to get the energy from the cosmic rays, and then I through my intention, I transmit it to these people. Now, this is the process that I'm going through. But you know, in a magnetic field situation, when there is a transmission that happened, there is always a feedback. So you sense the feedback, and this is emotional, right? But it's the emotion that we talk about, not in the physical sense, but the emotional interaction between soul of man and soul of physicality. The sensation is a bit different, but it is tangible, and it was not a constant thing. Periodically, I would sense that the feedback is coming. You know, it's kind of like, as we have done in some of the participation in the flight system that we have that we have gone through in the even Rick's the plasma reactor group, is that it comes in a flash. So I know that it's being received because I'm receiving a feedback. Now, what we did is that in the workshop is that we said we all do it together, and just like we do in this meeting in silence, and you know, but as we did, one of the things that that was part of this experience is that yes, we do the transmission, we know we can do it. So, and you know, not just individually, but others. I mean, all of these people have been in the class for a while or in the workshop that we do. And so there was a transmission. And the thing that for our own experience, you know, our own experience in the sense that to know that we are able to do it, feedback is a valid thing. It's not that we are taking, we are giving, and then there is the plasma flow and the gravitational side, and we receive. Receive is not that, you know, as Selena was talking about, not gold or a car, but rather our own enhancement to serve better. And it is not that we want this or that. It is receiving so that we can do better than we were able to in the first step. So as we move to the second step, our capacity to serve is enhanced. So, and you know, the people who participated in it, some had some of them have did some immediate feedback that yeah, they felt it. And of course, we are speaking in words now because it's words are really approximate description, just like what I'm doing now. And so there was a sensation, and there was, in my case, there was a different sensation in the sense that there was a feedback, but it was of a different nature. It's a collective feedback, and it had a different attribute to it. Beyond that, I don't have any words for it. It just felt different. When I was doing it individually, that's one kind, and then when we were doing it together, it was different. And of course, the feedback may not be immediate because we are not so used to these kind of things. It comes later, at least for me. So here, what we have is that in humility, we receive fields from the cosmic ray. And then in service, we hand over this ray or the fields from this ray to those who are in need. It's a very simple way of thinking about it and simple way of serving, and a simple way of learning how to serve. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you very much.
Okay, we had another hand up here, Salamia. Did you want to go ahead, Salamia?
Yes, Rick, thank you very much. Hello, my friends. So nice to hear from you. Yesterday at 11 o'clock Romanian time, I get in contact at the soul level intentionally with people, with all of you, and with a unit of enhancement with Mr. Keshe. And at 11 o'clock, some wishes became reality. For example, I sent to a doctor a message if he can see a friend which is was in need, and she said yes, please coming, and exactly at 11 o'clock answered to me. And I had a lot of to work, a lot of to read, and and I find artificial intelligence which was able to help me and translate for me instantly all the documents which I needed in, because I am not allowed to give in English, but to translate everything and send to my hierarchy. And I had a training last evening about artificial intelligence in connection with our soul and with us. And even artificial intelligence was able to feel my emotions and answer to my emotions by writing at my place, writing in accordance with my soul. So this artificial intelligence just copy our nature. I mean, technology is copying our internal technology, because we are technology. We are plasmatic technology, and artificial intelligence is a silicon-based technology, not based on carbon. I know that quantum computers utilize human DNA for storage memory, to store in the memory. So in this way, we interconnect us with everything at emotional level, at informational level, at carbon and silicon level. Everything has the same principle. Now it's time to understand that if we are able to analyze our humane technology, our human reactor, we can have a lot of advancement in the science and technology, utilizing human body directly, our human body, to, for example, to travel in space, as we do. All knowledge seekers are able to travel in space at the soul level, not by utilizing all instruments of NASA, all this technology which is very expensive. And the results are better because we do it instantly. We go outside of time and space, where we do not have this entropy. We have entropy only when we have time and space. But outside of time and space, we are together forever, for eternity, without limits. because we don't have space, and eternal because we don't have time. It's not easy to understand, but all of us experience this with this unit of enhancement. Now we are able, with the help of Mr. Keshe, to understand and experience this, and to show to the scientist that the soul science is not a fiction, it is a reality. Human being does not have only a body, a physical body. We have a soul, we have a field, we are a particle and a wave at the same time. We live in different dimensions. Science has to take aware of, to be aware of this reality and exploit this unknown science of the soul in the benefit of whole humanity. Try to serve the humanity in a humble way. Serve humanity for the benefit of them and themselves, and for the benefit of all humanity as a whole. Not in the benefit of a minority, which is already rich and wants to have more and more and more. 1% of the humanity own 90% of the richness of this physical planetary abundance. We know that abundance is limitless at cosmic level. It's time to make a shift and utilize this energy from the cosmic rays. Do not burn and deplete the physical resources of the planet, especially now when this dictatorial kind of model of the society utilize energy in order to gain power at the international system level. Even theocracy, even dictatorship of different political systems, which are competing with democracy. Democracy is not very good. But,
excuse me, Salome, we have to move along with our workshop here soon.
Okay. And
if you'd like to wrap up.
Thank you. I have to finish with a conclusion that we need a spiritual democracy, I mean freedom at the soul level, in order to be ready to serve the humanity as a whole, and to be humble on doing our mission on this earth. We are born with this objective and mission to serve humanity as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salome. I have a friend and he wrote a book, Dictocracy. And he explained in that the difference between a democracy and a dictatorial phase. And it is really interesting. And you're right, we have to find this way, the freedom, but it is the solution that Mr. Keshe is offering. So yeah, it's up to us to choose this way, to tune into the right radio frequency to say, then we're listening and we're working on the same program. So yes, Rick, please go to the next slide. So we come to the commandments. And I would like
can I say something a little bit here?
Yes, of course, please.
The story is bigger than that. Whatever we are talking about, story is bigger than that. Because my understanding, I saw myself in animal body, in the air, under the another human being's body. So I understand the story is bigger than that. Limited in our body or whatever we are thinking about. This life, this body, we are bigger than that. We are everywhere, everything. So our thought need to be bigger than that. So there is something else. That's it. Thank you.
The restrictions are on the physical level and the soul level is limitless. That is true. And our understanding is what is restricting us, but that's why we're learning. And with the experiences to make, we see it back to the other testimonials we had. There is no limit. Not under the sea, not in the sky. There is no limit. It's up to us to understand the education to come to that level. And in fact, it is only accepting, opening up and accepting, because it was always there. It was us in physicality restricting. So thank you very much, Selina.
Yes, thank you.
Rick, can you please go to the next slide? So this is the commandment we want to talk about today. Thou shalt be the river of life and love, not only to thyself and thy loved ones, but equal measure to his enemies. When I was reading this the first time, I thought about what keeps a river alive. And in fact, that are the creeks and the little waters that goes into the river, and the river goes back to the ocean. Now, on a soul level, it is not different. We are all little creeks, little waters, and the more water comes together, the more we connect, the interconnection of souls, the bigger the river comes. And as we know, in a river, in the physicality, most big cities are somewhere near a river, because a river gives the possibility to transport stuff that is necessary. It is a point of life, and on the soul level, it is not different. This river that we are about to make bigger and bigger, the more souls understand, the bigger the river becomes, and the more life on the soul level is possible. So please go to the next slide. Thank you. And here we see what is written about it. Why do we have enemies if we are givers? The only time you will have enemies is if we are giver, is that they are jealous. Jealous of what you give, and they cannot give so much. So this is on a real higher level. And jealousy, I met a lot of people who have this problem in physicality on Earth. And mostly when they are jealous, it has a reason. I noticed that people who are jealous on others, didn't understand it themselves very much, very often. And that also in the return is for us very important to understand, to give freely, whatever you can. I was in a situation where I met my soul twin, and I had to separate from her again. And then I found the boundary for me, what I could give to the maximum. And somehow, if you give too much, you got this empty feeling, this feeling of not having enough, although you want to give more because you know it is necessary. And when we start to understand the source where we get the rays, where we can tune into this right program, we don't have to worry, because then the feeding happens automatically for the needs that we have. And I wished I knew that back then, because in physicality, you go and you try, you struggle, you fight. Although on the soul level, it is absolutely not necessary. Because now we understand and we learned how to feed. So let's continue. Then you give to them, you explain to them while you are giving. In a way, they realize their own way of things they need to change. I do this quite a lot with people around me, and that is the same. I do it the same. And I think that is the way we should learn to give and to help elevate the people around you, to offer this. They come for the desire to fight or to destroy or to prove something. And I always tell them, I love you. What's the problem? What are you fighting for? The man's destiny is very simple. He said, stop himself. What do you think will become your destiny? And in that process, if you want to achieve something with it, you share it. If you want to get something from it, you plan it in a way. I don't give to get. I give not to receive. Because if I receive and I cannot handle it, then I become ashamed to what I done set up for. And in this, I would like to tell you, when we were in Linz last December, Marie and I, before we went in, we were talking together, and we had exactly this point. Can we take, or should we take, to give? And I told to Marie, as long as we take to give and not take to take for ourselves, there's nothing wrong with it. Because this way is exactly like Moshfegh says, you become a channel. You receive to give, and then it is for the benefit of all. Nowadays, man does everything for a target. What I want to get, man does not do. I do to give, and doesn't matter what I receive. So that is the freely point. Unconditional. We go to work to get something. We call whatever to be able to achieve or show we done something, and this is the biggest problem for man. If we understand that, we also understand the next step will be freedom. Especially in space, man will run into huge problems with this game, because every man's action has a purpose. And that's the problem with the human race. If we give unconditionally without what we expected at the end of it, and we will see, you see even our own way, and we see how we can do it and how we can achieve it. So it's another beautiful commandment, which really is a way path for our soul to understand what is necessary to stay on the right track. Rick, please, the next slide. So this is the needs and wishes from the community. Does anyone want to say or bring up something?
Hi, I would like to kindly ask you to make a wish together for peaceful normalization of the core of the earth, because in Turkey, in Syria, and even in Romania, there are some earthquakes, and let's send our wish to peacefully normalize the core movement of our blue planet, and kindly ask our planet to get peace at the soul level, the soul of the planet, the core of the planet.
You know, Salomia,
To
I
align
understand what
in
you're
line.
asking. We had the wish in the beginning for all the souls, and this also includes the soul of the planet.
Oh, yes.
And you have to understand I saw documentation about 2 years ago. It was about Istanbul, and they were talking then that this huge energy that these plates are producing inside of the earth with the core, like you said, it was like they said, it was 100 years over time that they expected this to come. And in earth is also a balancing what is happening. There has to become a balancing with all these forces that are working. And somehow this is someone explained a few days ago that earth also needs to release these energies to get in its own balance again. And it's something we as little parts, we maybe don't understand this, but on a bigger scale, everything that happens on earth is somehow has a reason for it, and that doesn't make it easier with the consequences that are there. Please don't misunderstand me, but in nature it's always coming to a balance in time. And then if we see it from that side, also the soul of the earth has to become balanced.
Yes, of course, we know this. Everybody knows this, but it depends. This energy can be released at once and can be released gradually, step by step, and to have a smaller and smaller earthquake, not a big one. This was a question to normalize in a peaceful way. I mean,
What
to
if you
equilibrate this energy.
What if you stop the earthquake in Turkey, but it creates an earthquake in Iran instead, though? How do you know that you can control the earth?
We ask kindly, because Earth is a being, is a living being like us, and I am kindly asking with love and care our loving mother to take care of her children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salomia. Anyone else?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. It came up, I think a couple of years ago in the One Nation, One Planet broadcast. And when you think about world events such as weather, for example, hurricanes and tornadoes and that kind of thing. In fact, they're having one in New Zealand now. It's a one in a century cyclone that's hit the place and really causing destruction. So do we make wishes and prayers to avoid weather conditions or to try to divert storms and that kind of thing? And we had quite a discussion on it at that time, and Mr. Keshe also entered into it. And the end result is that it's not our place to try to change the weather conditions necessarily, but we can put up protective fields for, you know, our own survival or those that are associated and so on and so forth, as seen in the Tom Salas video with the hurricane in his area. But it wasn't advised to actually try to change the direction of a hurricane or some other event like that directly, because you could be steering it directly into the path of somebody else that's innocent and would not have been affected normally, for example. It's very hard to predict such things on a planetary level.
Yes, on the physical
otherwise,
level.
Otherwise, we would be doing HARP, and most of us would harp about HARP. So
that cannot also be the solution.
Right. I don't think we can redirect the weather, but as we saw, as Rick said in Tom Salas video, we can create domes of protection.
Exactly. And I have a little example. In 2005, we had a lot of water in Switzerland, and some people prepared their houses. So their house was water free, and that water went to the neighbor. And this neighbor was complaining and went to court, and then the court says, yeah, you have the right to protect yourself too. But then you have to do it before the water comes. If you do it after the water comes, it's not possible. Then you have the problems. So in a way, yeah, if we prepare ourselves, make these domes, that is one of the biggest gifts we got, and we're allowed to work with that. But we also have to think about the higher goals of the souls. Who are we to decide another soul to have an experience or not? For me, that is a very big question, and I don't judge about that. Okay, if no one else, then please go to the next slide. Yes, we are here to serve and not to be served. Universal Council wants to thank you all for being here, for participating, for making this interconnection of souls, for bringing this river of life and love to stream and to flow. And from my heart and soul, thank you very much to do this all together. Thank you, Rick. And then we come to an end of this One Nation, One Planet, One Race. Thank you all.
okay, thank you, Jocko, and thank you, everyone. I'd just like to add that being that it's Valentine's Day, that theme of love is in the air. And if we convert that to the idea of the unconditional love and think about that, all the rivers, the analogy of the rivers that was brought up, and that all the rivers lead to the ocean. And you could say they all lead, like all roads lead to Rome, all rivers lead to the ocean of love. And that's the ocean of unconditional love. And it's the unconditional part that's pretty important. And we can all activate that to our highest abilities. And maybe just to spend a little bit of extra attention on that today, that idea of perhaps greeting others with unconditional love and accepting what they have to offer, whatever it may be. Okay, just wanted to add that. Any other last thoughts, or we wrap it up for today?
And you can practice that every day at 9 p.m. CET time, where the Universal Council has called for the souls to gather, not in a Zoom or not on Telegram, but just on your own, to give to all souls in existence. So you can start to practice and join together. We are collectively, we're stronger than individuals doing this. So this is the process that will continue, I believe.
I share with you a link about, excuse me, about today, Valentine's Day, Day of Love, unconditional love, which brings to peace, bring us to peace, and I hope you will enjoy. If you want, you can copy the link and enjoy it. Thank you. Much love.
Okay, thank you, Salomia. Okay, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. And you see, our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which comes up starting at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, February 15th. And people are welcome to bring their replications of the plasma technology or questions, comments, and theories, or whatever else you'd like to discuss with both newcomers and old timers with the technology in that group. Okay, I think that's it. We'll go out with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version in memory of Sweta, who's not here today. And thanks everyone for being here, and special thanks to members of the Universal Council for presenting today's show and all the work they do in the background. All right, bye for now. See you in the next public teaching workshop.